All right, everybody, welcome back. Right here to the Sacred Division, only on Fate Radio. And we want to thank our guest, David Love. And of course, I tell you, it's been a phenomenal show thus far. A lot of people are asking a lot of great questions. And I tell you, David has been talking about his experience with Scientology and Narconon, which is, I guess it's a place where people, where they're, according to David, they are pumped full of all kinds of vitamins, etc. And well, as he says, there's some pretty horrific things that occur. And David, again, I want to thank you so much for being on the air with us. You're doing a phenomenal job, and I appreciate you taking the time and chatting with us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, David, I think you are opening up maybe a side of Scientologists or Scientology that no one ever knew existed. I think it's a
well, we're just
show.
Oh, thank you. And we're just scraping the surface. There are some things that I can't talk about because we have some very serious court cases coming up, and I can't tip our hand to some of the evidence that we do have. But I have, I can say what I can.
Absolutely. And again, we appreciate you saying. And let me tell everybody again, our phone lines are open. So if you would like to chat with our guests, if you have a question, or if you want to ask them a certain, whatever it is, regarding Scientology and Narconon, again, the phone number is 502-410-2797. And David and Bobby, of course, Bobby knows, but when we do have a caller online, caller coming through, I will apologize, but I'll interrupt and say we have a caller online, and then we'll just bring them on in, and we'll chat with them. How's that?
No problem at all.
Fantastic.
It's your show.
Let me ask you a question. When I called up, like I said early on the show, I called up to Cincinnati, Ohio, and talked to the outlet up there, the Church of Scientology up there. And as soon as they found out we were going to have somebody on that was basically an opposing point of view, they could not hang up the phone fast enough. Why is that? I mean, why will they not come on here? At least the reaction that we got. Why is it they will not come on here directly in an official capacity and refute some of these things that you're saying? I mean, if they claim it's all a lie, or if they claim that you were just out to get them, why won't they come on here and say so?
Well, because they're stuck in the Scientology box of the 1950s that L. Ron Hubbard wrote, and what he wrote there cannot be changed. As science progressed, as health and human rights progressed, Scientology could not change. So some of the questions that would be asked of them, they cannot answer without looking like a fool.
Oh, okay. Well, and then of course
that's one of the reasons.
Now, we do have a question, and again, folks, please, if you would, I ask that you please don't private message me, because I'm not going to be able to do this because of what we're doing here. I need to make sure that the sound, etc., everything is going great. So, if you want to call in, if you have a question, you can private message Bobby, or you can, of course, call in 502-410-2797. I would like to know if there's anybody who's listening currently to the show. If you've experienced Narconon, if you've been through any of these Narconon branches, or what was your experience? I'd really be curious to find out what you think. As a matter of fact, we do have a caller online, so let's just bring them to the conference. Area code 253, you're live on the air. Who's calling, please?
Hey, Bishop, it's me, Kat. What are you doing?
Well, Kat, we're doing a show, as you know, here with David Love, speaking about Scientology and Narconon. You have a question for our guest?
I do. Hi, David. How are you tonight?
I'm very well. Thank you very much, Kat.
You know, I just wanted to ask you, I heard on the news that when Tom Cruise's daughter was born, that because of Scientology, everybody was told not to say anything when the baby was being born because it would, quote unquote, scare the child. Is there any truth to that? And if there is, what's the reason for it?
You know, to be honest, I can't answer that. I really don't know.
That's fair enough. Of course,
okay.
Because
I wish I did. If somebody knows, I'd like to know.
All right. Kat, you have any more questions?
Nope, that was it. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, bye-bye.
Uh-huh.
That was a great question. That was a phenomenal question. And so, but you primarily dealt with the Narconon, which is this I guess, this release or this cleansing? I mean, did they try to make it sound like it was more of a cleansing of toxics in your body?
Yes, it's called the sauna purification rundown in the sauna part of it, and the rest of it through auditing is supposed to get rid of the the Satan, the N theta out of you, so you become more Satan. I don't know if he had a lisp when he was trying to make, instead of saying Satan, he said Satan. So I don't know.
All right, so I have a question for you. So there was a question that I will ask, and it said, how long were you actually there in Narconon as far as going through the entire experience and actually being an employee, and how did you get out?
How I got out was not that easy. I had to contact a escape Scientology organization over in England, who put me in touch with Jerry Armstrong in Chilliwack, British Columbia, and then put me in contact with InfoSect in Montreal, and then with a reporter from CBC TV Radio Canada. And I eventually was able to make it out. I did have an employee of the federal government come and pick me up in the car from Montreal when it was safe to do so, and then I was stowed away in a motel for a couple of days till things cooled down. But immediately I was being harassed and threatened. I still had their cell phone by text, and then when I did go back with the police and took my stuff, one of the executives posted right on my Facebook, basically threatened my life and harm. They declared me an enemy, which puts me into the fair game ring, and in the fair game policy, that they've slashed out that word fair game, but the policy remains, and that's they can harass, do anything they want, including destroy me, with no ramifications from the Church of Scientology. That is policy.
So, okay.
James, I have a message from the chat room. It was a private message. They have a question for David. This person wants to know, they live in Austin, Texas, and they have a sign on the Scientology building down there that says free personality test. Can you tell us what that means?
Yes, I took, let me see, I took 1, 2, 3, I think I took 3 of them. There's 200 questions. And basically, it's another allure. They take you fill out the questionnaire, and I would say close to 100% of the people, maybe not all of them, but most of them, people who take it, are showing it, and it'll show some defects in your personality that they tell you they can change and help and get rid of for you and make you a better person, and and that's basically it. So that's the start of it, the free personality test. Then you have to take an IQ test. But once you take the personality test and they can get you in the door, then they start offering the packages that are the program books to start you on the way up to clear and operating Satan, and up onto what they call the bridge to total freedom.
So because I keep getting this question, how long were you actually there as a patient, and then how long were you actually there as an employee?
I was there for 5 months as a patient. Normally it's only 3 months, but I protested so many of the practices. For example, they believe, Scientology, Narconon, that all sicknesses or all illnesses and all accidents or blunders are caused from being in what's called a PTS condition, which is a potential trouble source, because you are connected to an SP, which is a suppressive person on the outside. Now, that could be somebody who has spoken against the church, who doesn't agree with Scientology, and so, and then you go into this PTS interview where they interrogate you, and they encourage you to disconnect from friends or families or your children,
really?
so that you're not connected to that suppressive person. Because the only reason why you are ill or you had that accident, the only reason, there is no other reason, is because you're connected to them. Okay, so I argued for 3 days. They put my file folder on the shelf for 3 days and stopped my program because I did not agree with it, and I wouldn't memorize the antisocial and social characteristics, personalities. I refuse to.
And folks, for those of you who are asking, this show will be archived. If you go to sacreddivision.com, again, sacreddivision.com, all one word, and under the archives, it will be archived tomorrow evening. Again, sacreddivision.com. Now, of course, there was a really great question that I do have to ask. Are you you briefly talked about the long-term side effects that you are now dealing with because of what you allegedly say happened to you, and I have to say allegedly because of all the legal issues.
Absolutely.
But what you allegedly say happened to you at Narconon. So are you experiencing any long-term side effects? And I know you briefly said yes, but can you go a little bit more in depth in that?
Yes. Well, I saw 3 doctors while I was at the emergency hospital, and they issued me a post-traumatic stress disorder certificate, which I have scanned and posted on the internet. So that should be proof enough how it's affected me. Extremely traumatic stuff. And I have my sleep patterns are horrible, and the nightmares just the night before last, it was horrible. But it's getting better slowly. I do see a psychiatrist once a month who is very familiar with the practices of Scientology, and he's helped me quite a bit. I'm dealing with this. But especially since I'm going through what I'm doing with the lawsuits and whatnot, it doesn't help, but we're getting there.
And you're currently being threatened right now by Scientologists.
Well, I was threatened on my Facebook wall. They have written some
David, were you threatened about coming on this show tonight?
No.
Very good, very good. But have you ever felt, I know that your Facebook wall, but have you ever felt that there was an impending danger to your physical self based on what you believe is Narconon?
Yes, I can't prove it, but I did videotape one fellow, and one evening I had a knock on my apartment door. Usually I have to get in through a buzzer, and then I have video surveillance. But I had a knock on the door, and I opened the door, and he says, "Pizza for you." And I said, "I didn't order a pizza." I said, "What's the name or phone number on there?" And there was no name or phone number. It was a small pizza, tiny little 9-inch pizza, and it wasn't in a pizza warmer. So I just shut the door.
Oh.
And he went back downstairs. I ran out to my balcony. I grabbed my video equipment, videoed him, and took some pictures. And here he's standing down by his shiny new car, brand new almost. A nice-looking guy, older gentleman. He's got one tiny little pizza sitting on the front seat with no pizza warmer, nothing. He's talking on his cell phone. Yeah, it's not
James,
funny.
James, let me ask David a question here. The impression I get from listening to you here for the past hour is that Scientology basically is a money-making scheme, if I'm correct. And if so, talk about the higher-ups. I mean, who knows the actual organization, the actual players? Who makes the money? I mean, who is the people at the top of the food chain, so to speak, when it comes to Scientology?
Little David Miscavige is the top. He is the guru. He took over from L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard, when he died, he took over. And he's the money goes to the higher ups. You know, the executive salary at Narconon is healthy. When I was working there, for the first month they paid me $0. Then they started paying me $2.50 an hour, and they paid 4 other recruits that had just finished the program. So there was 5 of us that were paying $2.50 an hour.
$250?
Yes, $100 a week, and then I had to buy my own stuff with that. Now, I was living there, too. So I lived there, I ate there, I worked there, I did everything there. So I was still in... Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Some of these Hollywood actors, like we've mentioned in the past, like Tom Cruise and Travolta, Christy Alley, do they really know what goes on within the church, or are they just there, or are they just a public face? Are these people just used, or do they really, are they really part of this organization?
In my opinion, they're just for public face and promotion. Absolutely.